Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, let's start with my presentation. Topic for today is case studies of vulnerability escalation in bug bounties. Next slide. Let me start with my introduction first. So, my name is Pratik Yadav, and this is my experience. Like, first five of them are when I was a college engineering student. So, I did all this work when I was a student. First, I started with Pristine Info Solutions in 2017 as an intern, and then I joined Xigo.com. It's the leading travel marketplace in India. Uh, worked them as an intern in application security. Then I worked for xcoins.com in 2018. They are based in Mexico, and they are also in the crypto marketplace. And then I worked for Atrium.com. It's a peer-to-peer crypto marketplace in Mexico. And then this was the time when I graduated in 2020. I completed my computer engineering, and immediately I joined the Paxful.com as a security engineer. I was working remotely for them for 2 years, and then some restructuring happened, and I moved to Nov'2024 as a security engineer, and they are based in Estonia, Tallinn. And recently, I joined Tulip Interfaces as a security engineer, and I will be relocating to Boston or Germany very soon. They are working on my visa. So this is all my professional experience. So next slide. And these are my side hustle. I am like mostly top 500 hackers on HackerOne.com, and currently I am 434. This is what I can see in my reputation section in the HackerOne, and that's my bug crowd ranking, top 500. Maybe it can vary a little bit. Next slide. And this is my portfolio of the companies in which I have reported security issues. This can be huge, but some of the top companies are Google, Facebook, Apple, Okta, and then Sony, EA Sports. The first topic will be SSRF. So let's ask ChatGPT what SSRF is. So in very simple words, server-side request forgery is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to induce the server-side application to make a HTTP request to arbitrary domain of the attacker's choosing. कुछ नहीं समझा right? So let's start with some basic of SSRF. For example, if I have a web application that makes an intentional call to some web server. For example, there is a section profile picture, upload a profile picture with an URL. So what an attacker can do is he will try to put some internal server URLs in that URL input, and he will check if the server is attempting to make the request to that web server and trying to fetch that data. So if the web application doesn't have any appropriate filters or appropriate mitigation in place, then that attack can be successful, and attacker will be able to fetch the internal data of the server. So this is my methodology to detect and find SSRF. So first of all, when you get a platform, you have to use it as an user. You have to set your burp with your browser and do all the operation that an user can do. Check every HTTP request in burp history and see if there is any request which takes URL parameter. The parameter can vary. It can be URL, and it can be server equal to, it can be anything. So you have to go through all the HTTP requests that the web application is making. And the common features, where you can test for SSRF is file upload through URL, image upload through URL, file upload features, webhook, or any parameter which makes an HTTP request. I know, I'm straight away jumping into this topics and my findings because it's not something, I will be able to cover A to Z. Like, for example, I can't cover SQL injection from A to Z. I'm just sharing my personal findings. So next slide. So this is one of the most popular case study I have found in a leading crypto exchange company, and they are listed on HackerOne. So so there was a webhook feature. So what as an attacker we have to do is we have to provide it some internal server URLs to test for this SSRF. I provided it AWS metadata IP there, and I tried to hit that metadata, but the web application was secure and it denied my request. So I tried all the things like encoding and using some sort of other whitelisted IPs, but it didn't work. So the next thing I did was I used an popular URL shortener, which is bit.ly. So I converted the first our AWS metadata IP into the URL shortener, and this is what the URL shortener looks like here, this one, bit.ly. And then next slide. And then this is the the dashboard. So I created and saved that webhook, and then to trigger those webhooks you need to make some requests, like you have to create some payments, then only the webhook will get triggered. So I created a dummy invoice, and it triggered the webhook, and as you can see in the response, I am able to hit the AWS metadata IP. So this is how it looks. So the next step will be, to find the appropriate IAM role which is associated to that instance. So next slide. So I created another bit.ly link. You can see latest metadata IAM security credentials. I created that bit.ly link, and in the response you can see I got the role associated with that instance. So now what I will be doing is I will copy that role name, and I will add it after the security credential part, and I will generate a new bit.ly link to get the AWS access key and secret key. Next. So as you can see the URL now, I generated the bit.ly link, and in the response you can see I got the AWS access key, secret access key, and then I think it's very easy. We can use AWS CLI. We can put our access key, secret key, and the region, and we can enumerate all the services or the data they have associated with that instance. So I reported this to the company, and they rewarded me with $7,000 as a bounty for this particular finding, because this was very critical, and this impact could have been the worst for them, because they were leading in the crypto marketplace for like last 6 years. Any questions for this SSRF? Yeah. So the thing is that you say that we have to find the SSRF. We have internal URL where we can bring the data from the internal services, right? To create the create an internal services URL, we are using big.ly. No, actually it's I am using this bit.ly to bypass the filter they have. It's just a URL shortener, because in the backend they may have some logic to blacklist all those IPs or URLs that is starting about 169.254.169.254. So the backend will be rejecting every request that starts URL with this. So what I did, that's why I created a bit.ly link, and when the server will be, trying to hit that bit.ly, it will redirect to that AWS metadata IP at the end. So yes, sir. How can I get the internal URL? The AWS metadata IP is not something which is unique, unique for that customer. It's global IP. Okay, so if I search for AWS metadata, I will get the same URL to other customer. No, it totally depends. The where their web application is hosted. For like if it's on DigitalOcean, the metadata IP can change, and for AWS it can be different. So you have to find where they are running their web application. Okay. So I have to make a recon. Yeah, in the recon phase you have to find which technologies they are using. If they are using the AWS, you can try with that this AWS metadata IP. Okay. Then after writing, we need to bypass the. Yeah, it I'm not sure if it will work for everyone, but I have like 2 or 3 cases where it actually works to bypass the filters. Anyone? Yeah. So in this case, who was the receiver? Sorry? Who were kind of making the center WebSocket? It's a simple HTTP request. It's not WebSockets. The requests are not going through WebSockets. Who was receiving the request? It was the this target's web applications backend server. Uh, I am not sure if I get your question right here. No, no, no. Yep. Mhm. Uh, this was one of the particular cases. You can try to hit the local host like 127.0.0.1 port 8080, 8081 or any other port. You have to do your recon, and you have to try and find what internal services they can use. They can use Redis. So for Redis, I think I forgot the port at which Redis runs. So you can try to hit that particular instance. And this AWS metadata IP, the path is fixed. So can you go 3 slides back? Yeah, just. So this is the very common point where you can find the IAM role. So latest metadata IAM security credential. So this is the absolute path where you can get the role name. So it's not you have to do some directory brute force to find this. We will have a question section later. Yeah. So आई थिंक कोई ना तो कोई यहाँ पर कभी ना तो कभी किसी से ब्लॉक हुआ ही है. मैं पूछूंगा नहीं कौन कब क्यों कैसे, तो वो अपने अपने तक रखते हैं और फिर नेक्स्ट. So this is the very common request I get from the people when I tell them I'm from ethical hacking background. Can you hack my GFBF account, or like maybe भाई उसने मेरे को ब्लॉक कर दिया है, क्या करूँ, कुछ है क्या उसको मैसेज भेजने का तरीका. So this is one of my personal finding I found in one of the popular dating application. I got their invite, and so I found one issue that allowed me to, still message someone even if I am blocked. So I'm sharing this personal finding. So the overall step that I taken was I tried to use that application with my iOS application with burp shoot configured, and then I made all the requests. Like I tried to interact with my another test account, and I did all the operation. Like I like the profile pictures, I do everything, and then I capture all those. Then I just go through do all the HTTP requests. I note down all the parameters. I note down all the endpoints, and then next slide. So this is the one of the case study. So as you can see, the blocked users can send the likes and access profile despite being blocked. So this was the original request. So if in the UI it's very beautiful, you just get some right click and view the profile picture. It's very easy. But in the backend there are the requests which make that happen in the UI. So if I try to click on someone's profile picture or profile account, if I have multiple people, I click on that their name. So this is what a request looks like. Here I am trying to access the user with user ID 153.86.81. So this was the user ID. As you can see in the response, the user you are trying to view has been blocked view. So this was the original request, which confirms that I am still blocked. So what I did was I found that the original request which I made using liking that profile picture or sending the message. So next, so this was the original request to like someone's profile picture. So this here the user ID was the victim who blocked me. So I replaced that with account user ID, and I replayed that this particular request again. And next, so in the whoever had blocked me, they still get my notification. Yeah, I have liked his profile picture or her profile picture. So this is what the security issue is. So the takeaway is, if you are doing bug bounties, try to use that application as a normal user and capture all the requests, and then try to replace those requests by playing with the application feature. If it has block requests, then replay those requests which makes interact with that profile or some other action. It totally depends on how curious you are while doing bug bounties. So let's jump into IDOR. Any questions for that dating app? Except, can you please ask some? Yeah. You reference the ID. So it is an IDOR. Sorry? You reference the ID. Yeah. So it is an IDOR. Yeah, no, it's not an IDOR because it's intentional feature, like the user ID to like any profile picture. But this is an improper authentication issue. There should be a proper check to, see in the backend if the user who is trying to like is actually blocked or not. But it's been listed as IDOR. No, I don't. It's clearly an improper authentication issue where proper authorization check needs to be implemented at the backend. If that user particular is who is liking the profile picture is already in block state or something like that. So any questions for this? Sorry. Hmm. Yeah, actually, maybe when we are trying to interact with the profile, when we block someone, the application may be restricting it from the UI, from the user interface, but they are not restricting it from the APIs, which makes interact with the profile picture. Yeah. It was on the REST API. Sorry. No, actually, it's totally a backend issue. Like whenever, like in the UI, in the application, you can't send anything as a normal user, but you have to play that particular REST API request again to be able to hit that request. Which one? Yes. This is the REST API. This is the post request to like anyone's profile. Here you can see the post endpoint is like. So there is no basically a check on the backend to see if this particular user who is authenticated is able to like that profile picture. Yeah, it's the user whose profile picture I am liking, and she or he might have blocked me. Next slide. So let's start with IDORs in secure direct object reference. So I will As I told you, this talk is just sharing my personal case study. I won't be diving much deep into this topics because there are thousands of resources around this to learn. So if you can see my personal case studies, maybe it can help you in your bug bounty hunting or finding security issues. So this is one of the case studies. I chained XSS plus IDOT to take over anyone's wallet. So let me give you some insights about the application. It was an NFT marketplace. So in NFT, every user can buy some arts or any digital arts or something like that. So the application doesn't have any cookies or authorization headers to check the request is made from that user, because that's how blockchain works. It has signature which makes which signs every request. So this is how Web3 works. It needs signature. So if we are able to steal the signature of that particular user anyhow, then we can take over his wallet and we can do any attacks. Video. Yeah. So this was one of the companies listed on HackerOne. It's Polonix, and I think they have removed this from the scope, and they are publicly listed company. Yeah, please. So this is how I create videos to send it to companies, because sometimes they fix security issues and later they tell us this was intentional. Do you have any proof this was actually working? So it's better to create a video proof with all the technical details of that security issues. So the first step I did was, I created two accounts. One is in Chrome, which I called as victim, and the one is Mozilla in the Firefox. With that's the attacker account, which is configured with Burpshoot as a proxy tool. So that So the only requirement here was victim's prawn wallet address. So wallet address is random hash. It can be anything which is unguessable. So that doesn't make this less critical, because this prawn wallet address or any wallet address you can get it from the public blockchain. So this is I'm not sure this Firefox, right? Yeah, this is the attacker's browser. So I captured the post request. I will capture the post request. I will capture my post request to edit my profile. So this is the post request which happens when we edit our profile. So as I told you, whatever you are doing in the UI, it looks beautiful, but in the backend, it's APIs or any other GraphQL or anything which make that actual changes in the UI happen. So in the Instagram and Twitter link, I will add a very simple XSS payload. So if I report this as it is, like just demonstrating alert one, it can be max to max a medium severity issue. So I provided my Twitter link as a very simple JavaScript payload, and I sent that request. And this all changes happened on my own account, on my own testing account. So if I click now on the Twitter or Instagram icons there, you can see a very simple XSS execution. So it's not some rocket science. It's very easy. Now the critical part is how we can escalate it and do some random hacking someone else's account remotely. So this is the victim account in the Chrome, as you can see the username, and I will. This is the victim's prawn wallet address. This is just like Bitcoin wallet address. You share your wallet address to some other person to receive the payments. So this is not something you have to guess or brute force. You can ask that user, hey, I want to send you $10. Please send me your address, and I just modified his details, uh, victim's user, and just refresh. Now if I click on Twitter or Instagram, Chrome, accesses the work. So we are able to inject our JavaScript into someone else's account. Now the main part is how we can demonstrate what risk it can. So pause. So this is the payload, JavaScript payload, which I will be using. It will be basically storing the object storing all the data in my local storage in the token object, and then it will be sending it to my server using the fetch method. So this is a very simple JavaScript payload. So I will so now again I will be repeating that post request, but I will be modifying that Instagram link and the Twitter link with that malicious payload that we created to steal all the signature from the local storage of that user. So this is the so now let's start. Let's see. This is the victim's browser, and if we refresh and click victim, for example, victim clicked on his Instagram or Twitter link. Nothing happened, right? But in the back, it has sent me his signatures and all the necessary information which I can use to hack into his account. So this is my webhook server where I am listening to all the requests. So this is one of the requests, and in the path you can see we have the signature. So that signature is required to make any transactions from his account, including selling his NFT. So if I want to sell my NFT, so the backend checks if that particular signature is there or not. So if we are able to get this signature, we can make the transaction from his account. So this is how I chain XSS plus IDOR to taking over his wallet. Yep. Any questions for XSS or this particular topic? बोलो 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 सुनाई दे रहे हैं. Which which one? It's something very simple. It's not like my personal script. You can easily get it somewhere, or if you have some knowledge about JavaScript, or you can easily build it with your own logic. Suppose if they are using some Java or something, this JavaScript only execute our no, actually this attack happens on the client side because the XSS executes on the client browser. So in the local storage of the particular user, the signature was stored, and we used the JavaScript XSS to steal that signature. So this is not something which happens on the back end. This happens on the client side. Although the fix needs to be implemented on the back end. Yeah. We are storing the secret in some wallet. We are fetching the token and we are just validating on the back. Yeah, in that case it won't work because you are using Vault in the backend and it's dynamic. Yeah, if you are storing it on the client side and you are vulnerable to excesses, then you are giving him the possibility to steal those data. Yeah. So this is one of the, I think I feel one of my favorite findings. It's very sorry, you had a question, right? I'm sorry. You mean the which pipe dream? Actually, it's like something which is available to everyone. It's just if you go to Google and type pipe dream or any webhook servers, it will give you some public webhooks. You can use your own personal server as well, but for simplicity, I used this pipe dream. Yeah, pipe dream, or there is one more websocket.site or webhook.site. You can use this both. Yeah, for you can do it for getting requests or stealing any data for XSS POCs. If you don't have much capacity to do it on your own server, you can utilize the services. Michigan. Oh, video. Yeah, there were a couple of parameters. Like one was I think the user ID and then the signature, then the account address. Because that's what the issue is. It's the backend is not checking that particular signature is applicable to that user who is making that request. So that's what the issue was. There was no check. Yeah. Back slide. Sorry. Yeah, it's almost similar to the MetaMask. I am using the Tron wallet. So this is just the example. Yeah. For in this particular case, I was using the Tron wallet and and that signature. So if you try to make a signature for MetaMask wallet, you may have observed that it just asked earlier. Now they have some security controls in place. They just have to one check how much amount you have to send to particular user. You have then you provide the wallet address, then you initiate the transaction, and then it uses the signature in that particular request. But in this case, there was nothing. And in MetaMask, I think they may have a 2FA or something to add. They have now, yeah. So they have recently added it, but in 2020 and 2021, they were missing that particular check. In this Tron wallet, they didn't have that multi-factor authentication for making transactions. Right? Yeah. So, like for example, in Zomato, Uber, we save our credit cards, right? So, what if someone is able to make transactions from your credit cards, from his account, without even knowing your credit card details? So, this was one of my favorite findings, and let's start with some technical details around this finding. So this was one of the requests where it was taking an email parameter. So if we try to pass the victim's email in the response, we are already getting as sensitive data. So even if I report it like this, it's still critical because in the response I can easily get address of that particular user his default payment method, etc. So this by default makes it critical, but the team was, very, I think, inexperienced to, see this PII information as critical. So they were asking me, how can you escalate this, or else we will be treating this as a medium severity issue. So with just victim's email address, I can get his where do he lives, what is his payment method ID. So let's try to change this to something critical. Just one more back. One thing to note here is we will be copying the Stripe customer ID. That is something which is very useful for us. So we will be using every request. We will be taking data from every request and using it. So second request. Yeah. So this was the second request. So here in this post request, the post in the post body, it was taking victim's customer ID. So the customer ID is hash, but we got that customer ID in the previous request, right? So we will be using that customer ID here, and in the response you can see I have blurred it with the client secret. So we will be using that client secret to initiate payment from his credit card. So this was the response from the security engineer. Like, can you get the credit card info? Can you get a name for that address? What can you do with that secret? So I was like, let's jump into this and have something to make this as critical if they are asking for it. So as you may know, if you have some experience in integrating payment method, like payment providers, every company they don't use their something which they have built from their own scratch. For payment, they use some third parties like Razorpay, Stripe, and there are plenty of more. So whenever we are trying to initiate payment from that company, the requests are made on the Stripe with this client secret which they have leaked to me. So I use that client secret, and if you notice, there is key, public key live. So as the name say, it's public key, and you can get this Stripe public keys easily in the JS of that application. So we got the client secret, we already have this public key, and we will try to initiate this get request. And in the response, you can see I already got this like my expiry date of the credit card and the last four digits. So maybe if even if I report it like this, he may still have some cross questions. It's just four digits. What can you do with it? So I thought let's try to escalate it more. So next. So this is the particular request. So here the payment method I got from the very first step. In the very first step, I told you that it's leaking the payment method ID as well of the particular user. So I noted that data and I provided it here, and the customer ID from the step one, which we already copied. So we have both this data from the very first request, and in the amount, it's I have said 111. It's basically $1.11 because it's my own credit card. I don't want to exhaust it. So the currency is USD, and when I initiated this request, in the response I have that another client secret. So this didn't end here. It's one more step, and so this is the final request from the Stripe. So here we are using that client secret we got in the previous request, and we provided it here, and the public key, and then the payment method which we got from the step one payment method ID of that request, and we hit this request, and then the request was successful, and at the end I got notification that a transaction of 1.11 USD has been made from your credit card. So this is how like I was able to take all the data from the the initial information step and chain it to something which proves actually this issue to be a very critical issue. I can arbitrarily make any transactions from anyone's credit card with just his particular email address. So that's what the issue is. Any questions for this issue? Because it's a lot to digest because it takes all the data from the initial step and we are passing it. So the only tip I can give you is if you get some information, try to think more what you can do from it. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I forgot to tell this part. Like before actually exploiting this issue, I was actually making the transactions from my personal account to see every request. So like I did try to make an transaction as a normal user. As I told you that whenever I do pen test, I use that application as an user. So I captured all the requests, and then I was just seeing all those requests, all those parameters, and then in the very first step, I got those got those information like payment method ID. I seen that particular Stripe request. I seen that they are using the same payment method ID which is getting leaked. So that's how I was able to find all these parameters. I was using the application as a normal user. Then I gone through all the requests and I modified this with any other users. Because you have to know the structure and how they are going to pay. Yeah, it's the structure for the Stripe API is common. It won't change for every customers. It's just the payment method ID and then the customer's ID and the public key of which gets changed for each customers. So in the initial request, you ask for your own email, yeah. Your own email address that you pass, your own email. Yeah, the authentication cookies which were there, it was for my own attacker account, and I provided it with my another test account. I can't randomly test any other user's data because this will be breach of their policy. You have to do your own testing. So that was my own second account. There was no check on the backend. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how security issues are. Like they don't have proper check in the backend if this authenticated user is actually making that particular request for that particular ID. Any other? It's just chaining of security issues. It's like something not about research, but it drains your mind a lot to find or escalate something to this part. But take your time. Next slide. At the end, it was very disappointing. They only rewarded me like $1,900 for this security issue. Yeah, this is what his response is. Although this report is critical in essence, the part that makes it critical, the exploitation is found to be out of scope because they were using Stripe. So that's the excuse they have given. Because the initial leak was happening to that particular request. So that was their own responsibility, not Stripe's. I just used all those data on the Stripe API to make that transaction. So, it was disappointing, but it's okay. You have to move on, from this, or else you will be drained. So the next topic is race conditions. So let me give you a very simple example. This is something very complicated to understand when you are actually reading the documentation or definition. So race condition is, for example, if I am sending some concurrent requests or like multiple requests, and the server is processing all those requests at once. So what will happen? So in this case, if the application has proper checks, then it will only process one single request. If it's vulnerable, it can process all those requests at once. That can make that system vulnerable to race conditions. And where this can be, you can test. For example, if you want to like someone's profile picture, So there was one popular exploit on Facebook couple of years back that allowed anyone to increase the like count just by using this race condition and increase the likes. So I have found this mostly on every application like which has this like feature. So you can test for this race conditions. Double money. So we will try to double our money and see how race condition is. So video. So this is the security issue I found in one of the crypto exchange that allowed me to send double money. For example, if I have $10 in my bank balance, I can send him 20, and my balance will get -10. I don't have anything to lose. I can just close my account with -10. I'm okay. So this is what security issues is. So in account A, I had 110 USD, and this was the staging instance provided by that company. So this was actually working on the production. I confirmed it, but the video is on the staging. uh, don't be surprised after seeing my balance, 2000 bitcoins. I'm not that rich, but that's the staging money. And in the Chrome I have 300 USD. 300 USD. So account A can send max 110 USDT because his account A balance is 110. So he can't send more than that, right? So I will enter 110 from account A, and the account address of my another test account. I won't be sending this to victims because I want to gain the profit. So this is my own second account. So this is the Tether address. So after account B receives 110 USD, his balance should not exceed 410 USD. So this is the post request which happens when we are trying to make a transaction. And this is the Python script to send 50 concurrent requests. And so let's start this attack. And attack has already completed within just 2 seconds. So let's see how much the server is capable to handle such requests in such a low time frame. Now let's refresh. Don't look at the right side, on the left. On the left side, you can see now my balance is minus 110. So maybe the application has sent twice the money which was in my USDT wallet address. We can confirm it here on my another tab. So now my balance is 520. It should be 410, right? So this means that race condition has completed and my attack was successful and I was able to extract double money. Double money. I could have used to earn millions from this exploit, or I could have sold this exploit in the dark web. But that's not how things works. I reported this to company. They gave me a job offer. They asked me to relocate to Estonia. They asked me to have a trip there, visit their office. So this all makes me happy not to sell this account. So SBI ये सब में जाके टेस्ट मत करना, क्योंकि वो लोग पैसे नहीं देंगे, वो जितने जेब में है वो भी ले लेंगे. कोई भी बैंकिंग पे मत करना. जो भी बग बाउंटी प्रोग्राम्स है उसमें ट्राई करो. और रेस कंडीशंस कहीं भी हो सकते हैं, जैसे प्रोफाइल लाइटिंग और प्रोफाइल लाइक स्पेंडिंग मनी, और it totally depends on your curiosity how you are gonna use this. So this is the another case study from the Glassdoor. So the Glassdoor, as you might know, like they allow companies to post job offers or something similar, like post the companies make post and the users interact with that post. It's just like some Facebook but for employees. So third video. So I reported this to Glassdoor and they rewarded me with $1,700, which I feel it's fair because they had certain controls in the backend to to detect this as mass spread or like mass exploitation. So yeah, here is the video. So on the leftmost side is the attacker account, which is configured with burp shoot. This one is that on the right side, it's the victim account. On the That's the victim account. So that's not configured with any burp shoot or any proxy tools. On the left, that's the attacker's device. So as a victim, I will try to make a comment. This is just a dummy comment, and let's see this from the attacker's account, this particular comment. So that's the attacker account. I will check victims comment. So yeah, so here is the victim's comment that attacker wants to hide. So using this exploit, anyone can delete anyone's post without any user interaction. So if, for example, Deloitte posts something, as an attacker, I could have deleted that post or make it hidden for several hours. That could have been certain loss to the Glassdoor. So this is the post request which is made for reporting a particular comment. So I send this report comment. You can report anyone's comment as an abuse, like yeah, he is abusing. So then there is a moderator teams which reviews those abuse reports. But in this case of Glassdoor, they have something in the backend which counts the total number of reports. So if the count is greater than 10, and then they hide this comment of that particular user. So as you can see, we have like more than 10 requests successful. So using just single account, I was able to report that particular comment as an abuse. So if I try to refresh that again on the attacker side, I will see that comment is already hidden or deleted from the that particular post. So let's see if from logging from the third account and see if that comment is actually gone or not. If I see, that the comment is gone now. So this is how, you can arbitrarily delete anyone's comments. I'm just trying to log in from the third account and see if there's not something which is shown to that particular attacker account or victim can see his comment. You can see, but other users they won't be able to see. So this is the third account. Victim can see still his comment. Yeah, the third account. So it means it's a global spread issue, and everyone could, can't see anyone that particular comment. That's it. Yeah, you can close. So this is right. So this is I reported to Glassdoor, and they rewarded me with bounty. And the abusing the reporting functionality triggers the moderation on that user. So this is what Glassdoor told me. Then when I told them, I want to share this in one of the public talk, they wanted to highlight that this thing that this was they do have something additional controls on their system. We don't know that. So this is the third case study which I reported to I think Nov'2024. So to activate any product, you have license key. So one license key can be only redeemed by one particular user. So we can, try to use race conditions to see if we are able to use that particular same license key in both accounts. So it means with $10 we can use it for multiple accounts. So third video. Yeah, start. So as I create videos, I just tell them, account A. Account A has logged in Firefox, and account B is in another container. Firefox has this, container mechanism where you can, split your testing. Like in shopping container, I have another account. In this container, I have another account. So this is the banking container. You can see the account is different. It's Nodi N12 plus 123 at the rate vrhacker1.com. And in this one, it's another one, Yadav Pratik. So let's go to redeem. We will first try to redeem that license fee from first account. And I will initiate redeem process in second account as well. So that's the license key. I will try to capture that particular request. So this is the post request for redeeming that license key. I will send it to repeater tab. Burp has a new functionality to test for race conditions. It is known as single packet attacks, and you can read about it from the original researcher James Kettle, and he has some better video proof than mine. And I will try to redeem that same activation key again. You will notice that, I am not allowing that particular request. I am just dropping that request from the burp shoot. So the activation key doesn't get expired. I will send it to repeater. I will drop that request so that, I am not able to use that line. If I just forward that request, activation key could have been exported. So I will create a group tab. I will add both those requests, one from the first account and another from the second account, and then I will be sending this as a parallel request. So it goes like this, and the server processes both the requests. Servers are capable of processing multiple requests at same time. So let's start this attack. And the activation key could have both have been already, redeemed on both the accounts. I got 200 OK for both the requests. So let's try to refresh my Node account. And as you can see here, the subscription for has been already activated. And if I see the another account, it's uh, it's been activated here as well. So only the single request, one single activation key can be used on multiple accounts. So the application should have, proper controls in place to see if log that particular request once this license key has been released. So I think that's it from my end, and this was all the case studies I have for which are really interesting. And one thing I would like to tell you that, don't try this race condition on normal request or anything random like forget password or something like login, etc. Because, the cost of fixing this security issues like race condition is more compared to the impact they can suffer. So they will obviously mark that those as low severity issues. You can only test this race condition in such cases like, I shown you, like in the money, where, actually the business impact is more for them. So that's my LinkedIn if you want to connect. Yeah. Any questions? Now it can be related to anything. Yeah. Uh, initially you were sounding more like an HR. But now the question is more clear. I can answer it. Whenever I see a web application, I, I just told you that I just try to use it as a normal user. When I see there is a feature called as redeem activation key or something like redeem a gift voucher, then I just Google it and I just find it if there is anything like which makes me able to purchase the gift cards. Then I use those gift cards in multiple, use this as a test cases. So it totally depends on, how curious you are in this bug bounties. It's not something I don't have personal methodology. I just use it as a normal user. I create an Excel sheet. I note down all the API endpoints, all the parameters, and which helps me, to go through them when I'm already done using that as an user. Did I answer your question or like for the subdomain enumeration, I use Subfinder. It's I think now transferred to projectdiscovery.io. This is and then I use multiple tools and I have a custom bash script which uses all these public tools and then Shodan, and this is just like for the reconnaissance purpose. For actual tool which I use, I just rely on Burpshoot. Earlier, I used to have a community version, but now I am using this professional version. This is our first HaxNation Mumbai meetup. And so, how many of you are students? Okay. How many working professionals? How many were from earlier cases meetups and beach sports? Okay. So, we're going to start our first speech by Chinmay sir. So, he's giving.
Hello, good morning everyone. So today we will start about my presentation which is of cloud infrastructure and title management and a case study on AWS. So we will start first a basic introduction of mine. Next slide. So my name is Chinmay M. Tawde. I have done my bachelor's degree in information technology from Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Matunga. Also, I am in last year of Masters in Cybersecurity from the same college. And as per my professional experience, I was first started my job as a network engineer in the Reliance company CEO at the L2 level. I worked for 6 months in the company. Then I switched the company to the deployment engineer in the Symphony Fintech in Andheri only. So there I was, it was totally about stock market and trading company, the backend architecture of the stock market and all. So we were handling that. And currently, means 2 days before, I have joined that Theta C as a senior executive data center engineer. So there I am handling all the data center servers of the Hitachi company and the payment services of them. So we will start with the conference. When I was in first year of the Masters in Cybersecurity, so I was written my research paper of the cloud infrastructure entitlement and a case study of AWS. So this research paper has been published in the International Journal of Novelty Research and Development. You will find in the volume 8 and issue 11. I was published in November 2023 last year. So this is the link. You can find my paper in the below link. This is a basic outline that what we will discuss today, starting with the basic introduction of the cloud, then what is the data security, what will be the risk and the attacks created on the cloud, and what will be the defense techniques that we will use. We will start the basic introduction with the cloud. So cloud is the basically we can say virtual server which works on the internet over the internet level. So it gives us opportunity to store huge amounts of data on the virtual server rather than keeping all the data in the physical servers in the company. So one advantage will be say that cloud servers are located in data centers all over the world. As I said, in my current company, so we are handling all the data centers, especially the servers which have been deployed on the cloud. So rather than having in-house servers and software businesses can use cloud-based services. So before when the cloud was introduced, before that, most of the physical servers were there in the premises only, in the company premises. So what happened when the cloud services come into the market? The space which has been required in the company, the space has been reduced, and it has become very much easy to handle all the data, maintain the data, and apply security policies and all in the cloud services. This also gave one advantage to the technical person or a technical engineer who handles the cloud services is that he doesn't have to go on the premises of the company to handle the easily he can access over the network with his or her credentials, login details and all, and he can solve the issues which has been coming by sitting at home or while traveling by using just a simple network access through the internet. Next. As I mentioned, I have a specific case study on AWS in this, so we will focus only on AWS. So these are the four services which has been given by the AWS. Volume, snapshot, EBS, and AM. We will discuss this one by one. Volume is simply a database or a storage which we use to store our data in our day-to-day life. That will be physical hard disk, pen drive, CD, DVD, etc. Virtual volumes will be the volume such as our Gmail account, OneDrive account will give 50 GB of space storage. So that volume becomes virtual and physical hard drive, as I said, pen drive, DVD, etc. So that is all about volume. Snapshot is nothing but a backup or a copy of an instance. So suppose we will take one example of the virtual machine VM. We have the ISO files and we make VMs on virtual software like VirtualBox or VMware Workstation. So suppose we created one Windows server on the VMware Workstation and we are working some kind of setup, DHCP setup we will do. We are working on DHCP setup, but due to some another emergency reasons, I have to stop my work and go to the another work. So what I will do, I will just select the snapshot button and I will make the snapshot of that. So what will happen? The machine will not shut down entirely. It will take the snapshot where I will stop my work today. It will pause the machine and then shut down the machine. My snapshot will be remain saved in the VMware workstation. So day after tomorrow or tomorrow when I want to work again on the DHCP server, So my setup has not been lost from starting. So instead of starting from zero state, I will just pivot the snapshot which I will save yesterday, and I will continue my work on the next day. So this is the basic meaning of the snapshot. A snapshot can be used to restore the data from where it has been kept off, similar to restoring from a backup. I am restoring my steps which have been left today, and tomorrow I am resuming my DHCP server state from where I have been kept off. So this is the basic simple meaning of the snapshot. This is the new feature which has been introduced by the AWS. So it is elastic book storage. So this gives one big advantage to the cloud service providers with new services to the customers or the client. So this is basically which is used to save the storage of the cloud as much as possible and give the save storage free space to more customers. So we will take one example. If the cloud services have 500 GB of data with him, and one client or customer comes who is asking only 200 GB of data he require for some work. Then instead of giving the entire 500 GB of data, will be waste. 300 GB will be waste if he gives total 500 GB of data to his system. So instead of giving 500 GB of data, he will divide that 500 GB into 200 GB small data to that customer, and the remaining 300 GB he can give to the another customer. So in this way, he can give more storage to more customers, and the storage space will also be not be wasted. It will be fully occupied by the customers or the client. This makes the cloud providers to sell the remaining free spaces to more customers. In addition to that, EBS can consist of multiple volumes, which is similar to partition or data. So as I say, instead of using the entire 500 GB of data, he will divide the entire hard disk space into small partitions, and he can distribute that allocated space to more and more customers. So we will move to the next one. This is AMI, Amazon Machine. So it is an advanced virtual image of virtual machine which is used to create one or more instance of the image. So this is basically acting as a clone. It will make the clones of the service. So we will take one example. If I want to set up my business in Mumbai location, I will first start from zero to 100. I will do all the basic setup, make my servers, deployment of the servers, creating web pages, posting the website. All I will done from scratch, from zero. After doing my entire setup, I will start my business in Mumbai location. After some days, I am planning to expand my business in another cities like Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore. I am planning to expand my business. So instead of starting again from zero to 100, what I will do, I will make a clone of the Mumbai setup, which I have done from zero to 100. I will make a duplicate copy of the entire setup. I will go to Pune and deploy that entire copy of the setup in that location, and I will continue my business. This will save the effort, the time which has been spent to make the entire server, and it will also save the cost of making all the servers. And it is also one advantage. Suppose after some days or months, there is some problem or issue occurs in the servers which have been deployed in another cities and all. Then there is no big deal. I will get again the duplicate copy and the clone of a Mumbai's location, and I will set up it again in another city set. So it is the Amazon machine image definition. So now we will start with the data security. As nowadays, most of the company's personal data, sensitive information has been deployed on the cloud services and all. Most of the companies has been using cloud services and AWS services. So in today's physical servers has been rarely seen in the companies. So as more and more data is being stored and processed in the cloud environment, the data security has become a top priority. We have to secure the data so anyone can't easily hack the data or steal the data. Cloud services provider employ various methods. So whoever is the cloud provider or the cloud service provider who gives services to the company, so they should be ensure that what are the measures which have been taken in order to secure the data and in safeguard the data from the unauthorized access, research and loss. So the basic step will be of encrypting the entire data which has been uploaded on the cloud services. So encryption plays a crucial role in securing the data in transit as well as late. After encryption, it is the most important stage of encryption. But rather than encryption, we can use robust authentication mechanism. So authentication mechanism include multi-factor authentication, like someone who is, someone who are, and someone who has. So that includes passwords, biometrics, or a security token. It's a multi-factor authentication rather than encrypting process. In the hacking world, suppose the attacker gets your physical address of your laptop or anything you are using, laptop, desktop, etc. So that means the game is over. The attacker will get the full access of your laptop and he can see what activities you are doing on your laptop. And all. Cloud customers can store most sensitive information in the cloud environment. Suppose if someone has a business or a company, the company can store the financial records, the sensitive information, and all the information, missing information, and on what they have on the cloud. So, from a security point of view, cloud companies need to ensure the confidentiality of the services provided by them. Whichever company has been using the cloud services, so they should what ensure that what will be the security measures taken in order to secure the data. It will be safely handle the data. A client of any cloud services should know the risk associated with the data security. If someone client or any other person who take the cloud services as their use, so first of all, he should know all the attacks of the cloud, which attacks can happen, what are the security measures, and what type of defense they can use in order to secure their cloud services. While storing the information, encryption is always a powerful. As I told, encrypting the entire data file, etc., is a very good technique in order to save the data. A hacker will not break into your system until the full disk is empty. Full disk means not only the data or a specific folder or file to the full disk means the entire laptop is encrypting your entire operating system. As we all know that all the operating system files and folders is stored in the local disk. So encrypting the entire laptop, including the local disk, will be the added advantage for the service provider as well as the customers who are using the service. Because the hacker will not easily break into the system. He should use various type of techniques in order to hack into the system. Because the entire operating system has been encrypted. So this full disk encryption is possible in cloud computing world, but at the same time, many clients do not encrypt the data for performance and financial reasons. If we encrypt the entire operating system, including the local disk, it will slow down the process. Some process will take time to open the folder or something. So we will take one example. Nowadays, there are YouTubers who live stream their channels and all, or else we can say gamers. So for YouTubers and gamers in gaming, they want the data to be fetched very much quickly. They should not be delay in the data fetching. And so if we encrypt the entire volume and the entire operating system, the fetching of the data will be take some time and this will create an issue to the YouTubers and gamers because data fetching will be slow. This encryption will slow the process down and increase the business cost. As the process will be slow, they will be definitely taking time to do the business process and all. As, and hence the business cost will be increased. All due to this, the cloud customers do not encrypt their volume. So because of all this reason, the cloud customers do not encrypt their entire laptop, I will say. When the cloud customers do not encrypt the volume, a security risk is present. So obviously, if the encryption is not be done and the security measures has not been taken, then there is a risk associated in attacking on the cloud services. Below is the table, which is of standard storage and register storage. These two storage has been identified. So we can use the customer can use as per their needs. Pricing has been given as per 1 TB per month. Price is 0.105 per GB of storage standard storage, and in register storage is 0.011 per GB. Standard storage, I will say those customers who want their data to be received, to be accessed the data on the regular basis, day to day life, they want to access their data. They can use the standard storage, and the glacier storage is where the customer is saving the data on the cloud, but accessing the data rarely means within a month or within 6 months, only one time they want to access the data. So such customers can use the glacier storage. Standard storage pricing is high due to this reason, and glacier storage pricing is less. Both glacier storage is very much faster than the standard storage because in glacier storage, only rare cases the customer access the data, and in standard storage, the customer access the data in the regular basis now day to day life. Now we will discuss some of the attacks which can be happen in the cloud services. First is the DOS attack, data breach, data loss, and data integrity. We will discuss one by one. DOS attack, as we all know, is the attack on the server on the network by sending huge amount of data packets and slow down the process of the server or totally bring down the server and crash down the server. So denial of service being of the latter is obviously always an issue of the service. The add-on list of losing the cloud is attack on the another users of the cloud will affect your code. As I discussed in the AMMA, when the cloud service provider give the partition of the shared storage to two customers. Suppose they find a GB of storage and he has given 250 GB of data to one customer and 250 GB of data to another customer. Suppose the attacker attack on the customer's one, then the customer two will be also get affected if he is the same network or the same volume as well. So in this way, the cloud is attack on the another users of the cloud will affect your code. Something will be affected on your code. If an attack has been done on the cloud, then it can bring the server also down or at least slow it down. If huge amount of attack has been done, DOS attack has been done, then there is a chances that the entire server will be goes down. And if not, it is of not a huge level, but the some amount of data packet is being sending on the server, then it will definitely slow down the process and the entire working of your business will be slowed down. So this is of DOS attack. Second one is data breach. So it has a greater potential of making huge disaster in the cloud. If any customer or the client not has taken proper security steps in order to secure the data or not save the data properly, then a single flaw in the cloud service can cause one data breach to extend to the entire system. If any one single small loophole has been remained by the client or the customer, the attacker can trace that loophole and can attack on your system and get the entire access of your data. Some people think that it is the considerable list of the cloud company. Before, when it was not on the loose surface, so customers was avoiding it that it will be okay that not to secure the data. But later on, when the attack goes on increasing, there have been many precautions taken and it has already been implemented by cloud services. So now the cloud services has been known about the databases and has improved some kind of security. Data loss is an issue and this is not a unique to the cloud. So here there is one disadvantage also been given about the cloud services. Issue of power is not been a not in our end, it is natural. If the power consumption goes up, we are working and due to some network issues and all, we can lose the data what we have been working on. So we have to do it again. So power loss is a potential change everywhere on the earth and sometimes it is unavoidable. The article has caused harm to the cloud services for losing the data, where in reality the server probably have better protection that you can offer. So the physical servers, I can say that we can create a backup or a backup for electricity and all. If the electricity power consumption goes up, then we can put the backup electricity and we can continue with our work. But in the cloud services, if the cloud service provides network or the power consumption, then we have to stop the work. We can't access the work until the power comes back. Data integrity is another release is giving other access to your server and secret is once again almost unavoidable. So here it is in pure distribution only. I am the service taker and I have deployed all the servers and all. But I don't have much time to continuously look all my business and all on the server. So I have to take one person which I can trust and I can give the entire register, entire access of my servers and business setup to that person. So here the data integrity comes that there will be trust issues that the person should be trustable enough that he will not tamper my data or steal some sensitive information of mine. So here I have to trust the another person and give the entire setup to that person. So here it is unless if you buy, set up and implement your own server in your home. Unless and until you are confident that you will be handling your data properly, you will be setting up by your own or give it to the another person. Then only you should be taking this cloud services and all. You will probability have to trust someone to help you and there is a risk include of data leak. If you give to another person and he tampers the data or steals the data, then you will be into a great loss. So that's why we have to put trust in someone before giving the entire setup to that person. Application programming interface API. So we all know that API is a roadmap and it shows how the application works. In the University of Texas at Austin and Stanford University examines several loose web services. So there is a team of research people and all in the University of Texas at Austin. So they have researched most of the web services. They have found one vulnerability into the secure socket layer protocol which is used for payment services. So some of the payment services were found to have vulnerabilities in the SSL protocol. Payment services today most of the business world, most of the companies do their payment transactions online. So they found some of the vulnerabilities and loopholes into the secure software that will be very much effective business, for the business managers and all. Account hijacking. So this entitles the unauthorized and use of the account and service of the client who utilize the cloud. Uh, the customers and the clients who are using the cloud services, so they will have their account on the cloud, account relation, login details and passwords. The hijacking process can be happening in any number of ways because the cloud is total based on the network. It is over the network first. So by any kind of network attack, the attacker can steal the login credentials of you and can get the access of your account. So since the cloud is simply a network run on many different servers, it is vulnerable to most of the attacks as both networks and servers. Given below is the some of the key points. It is unauthorized use of account and service. If the attacker got your login details, then he will be unauthorizing access to your account and the services which has been using on the cloud. Sample network data using the service account. So as I said, cloud is over the network. So we can sample the network and then get the access in your account. Once when the attacker hijacks the account, he or she can easily able to keep an eye on all the activities of the authority. This one customer who is doing his business on entire cloud services, if the attacker got the login details of their customer, then the attacker has tampered with their business setup. He can steal the money, he can deploy some of the virus children on the business setup and all. So whenever to network and service is same and tamper network data to detect the service account. He can manipulate the data of the customer in the business, who is in their business. Some examples of the cloud security incident. So there was the cloud scripting attack done on Amazon web page. So it does the filtering of Amazon relational database service Andheri. So what happened is the attacker could capture the login information. The attacker has been manipulated or filtered the relation database in such a way that when a customer or a person log into the Amazon web page or the Amazon shopping site with the login details, username and password, and when you click on the login button, the data will be go to the Amazon database also as well as the attacker database also. So in this way, the attacker can use their server to infect the server with the help of the server. By taking its login credentials and account, he can deploy some of the wireless or trojans on the web page. Most famous Apple. So nowadays, most of the people trying to buy an Apple, iPhone, MacBook, and people are keeping trust on the Apple due to the security. They give most of the security features and all. So Apple has a service called iMessage that handles the text message in the cloud service. Most of the cloud customers use iMessage for the text message and all messages are encrypted end-to-end, ensuring that no middleman can lead or your conversion. The Apple guarantees you that the message has been encrypted and it is end-to-end transfer. But what Apple does not tell you that they are legally required to keep a copy of an encryption. So the Apple company has the encryption key of each and every customer who are using the iMessage. So again, the customers are putting trust in the provider Apple. So if the any other got the encryption key from the Apple, then your messages will be revealed out. That's what messages have to be done on the iMessage. Now we will discuss some of the possible details what can be taken in order to secure means such type of attack. So cloud service alliance seriously has given clear warning to the organization to disallow users and service from sharing their accounts and sharing. Whoever is using the cloud services or any other cloud provider in company or we will say in an organization, the employees is using cloud. So they are getting clear warnings that nobody will be sharing their login details to any one of the employees or any to another place or person to set up multi-factor authentication wherever it is visible. Wherever it is required, put up multi-factor authentication, not encryption, but at least multi-factor authentication should be good. However, if we make these changes, it will be difficult to lose the system and it will be more expensive and slow. If we want to our data secure, then obviously we have to spend some money and it will be slower the process, but obviously our data will be secured by putting all these things, such as multi-factor authentication, encryption, and SSA multi-factor authentication. So these are the three basic steps. Knowledge or someone one knows. So this will take up passwords, token key, PIN number, etc. Possession or something one has. This will is one access card or token ID card number. That is. And interference or someone is. Someone is will be biometrics, face lock, or any other password protection which has to be physically there. Due to this type of multi-factor, it creates much more burden on the users and services than single-factor authentication. Single-factor authentication is much more easier because we can put login details and password and we can get access to our account. But by using this, we have to perform two-step authentication in order to access the data. Freedom Standard. So this was introduced by United States of America. So in the year 2013, NSA, which is National Security Agency, which is of USA, so has been collecting an enormous amount of communication and search data from the internet companies like Microsoft, Google, etc. So what the agency is doing that the customers or the people who are in the US, they are keeping and watch that what all the activities they have been performing on the internet, and they are catching and gathering all the information that has been covered from Microsoft, Google, that what has been the searching on the net, what type of data they have been using, and these agencies are also collecting data about the activities of the American citizens. So the citizens who are in the US, they are keeping an eye watch that what type of activity they are doing over the internet and what type of services they are using. So this type of surveillance has been taken place from the year 2007. So it was started from 2007. Instead of the cloud service provider, the NSA sent all the origin of network and hope to crash them. So instead of just keeping the security policies of gathering the information from the cloud service provider, they are scanning the entire network which has been used in the US. So by scanning the entire network, they can get the entire information, including the cloud services and any also other different kinds of activities that has been doing by American citizens. So this is the overview that what has been discussed. So we have started first introduction to the cloud, then Amazon Web Services, four type of service, then data security in the cloud, then this that DOS, data integrity, etc. Then the possible defense, which we discussed to CSA and the NSA agency, freedom standard. And then we discuss the account hijacking, that how the account has been hijacked by the attacker and can get the entire access of the data. Thank you so much. That was all about it.
Thank you so much for such an insightful talk. Any questions, guys? Anyone? I want to ask you a question like, then it is possible to find out that
Which type of question?
in the data application is mostly on data so you say that like if I have data, I have information like the login ID and password of the data like but if I am hosting my data application to the data plane, then it is possible to find vulnerability to the data information. Is there any way that works and
Means the web application has been hosted on the AWS and there is vulnerabilities in the web application. In the web application. If you have the access, you can find the vulnerabilities.
I have access, I have not access on the database services. I have access on the database users. So is there any way I can do like report the information of users by posting your application or my website website where I am hosting and find the link to this database. And so I don't have how to get for the asking that
So I want to find this out. I also have no idea.
Then,
There are some ways, means it is depends on the costing. As per loop billing, you will get the speed. And if your payment has been late, then obviously the process will be slow down. But it depends on the costing. As simple as to go high in costing, you will get the benefits of the yeah.
so I'd like to call our next speaker, Pratik sir. कितने लोग सीखे थे पढ़ने वाले सीखे तो हाइड्रेशन और हाइड्रेशन के बाद वो लोग क्या करते हैं खाने वाले